Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our episode 4, My Retention Experience. We apologize for being a couple minutes late. We're out TDY right now at another location, so we were dealing with some technical difficulties. But we have a great show planned for you, and we made it happen. And we're here to have an awesome MRE meal together and talk about the Career Counselor of the Year. Tonight, we've got 3 competitors that competed. They started at their division level and they competed in the Career Counselor of the Year competition all the way up to the Secretary of the Army Career Counselor of the Year competition at HQDA, where they actually went to the Pentagon and competed. These 3 competitors and career counselors did such a phenomenal job working their way to the top. And I want to, before we start the show, I just want to express exactly what they did to get there and the importance of Career Counselor of the Year. So you have career counselors that they're only one deep in their organization. There's one career counselor in a battalion, there's one senior career counselor in a brigade, etc. So their job doesn't stop while they are preparing and getting ready for these competitions. So when they go to it, think about it like your Soldier of the Year competition or your NCO of the Year competition. They don't go and win because they did great at their mission. They go and they compete and they do an ACFT event. They do a written exam. They do a mystery event. They sit and do an oral presentation or a board presentation to a panel of commands or sergeant majors within our field. And a winner comes out at each one, same style. And then they continue to go to the higher echelons throughout the competition. This can take upwards of 8 months of constantly studying, constantly being your best in every aspect, but also taking care of your soldiers and not letting that part of your job go. So it's a really busy time of year. And these 3 career counselors, they did exactly that. They fought, they won, but they took care of their soldiers at the end of the day. And in this group of 3, we also have this year's Secretary of the Army Career Counselor of the Year winner. So it's a really exciting night. I'd like to bring them all up on screen and we'll go ahead and introduce all 3 of them. So tonight we've got Staff Sergeant Jared Foster from USASOC, Sergeant First Class Charity Groff from FORSCOM, and Sergeant First Class Anais Moise. And she is from TRADOC, and she is our FY24 Secretary of the Army Career Counselor of the Year. So, before we get started, I just want to tell all 3 of you guys, thank you so much for taking your time to be on the show with us tonight. I know all 3 of you guys are in different parts of the country, so you got different time zones and having to leave work to make it to be here. But I am so excited to spend this hour with you guys and just have a meal and just break bread and talk about your experience as you competed. So let's start with Staff Sergeant Jared Foster. I want to bring you up on screen. And with our show, not only do we talk about our topic, but we always ask the same question to every person that comes on. And I love asking this to career counselors in specific because it's just a melting pot of experiences. But what was your very first retention experience?
Well, my very first retention experience was downrange. So I was deployed. I was a 92 Fox. And I needed to re-enlist, so the career counselor kept looking for me. But I was the only one that was in Iraq, so nobody can really get in touch with me. This is like in 2014. So once I not redeployed, but once I went to Kuwait, Iraq, I had to re-enlist. I needed to re-enlist, and I re-enlisted with my career counselor, but he wasn't mine for my unit. He was like the ASG Kuwait career counselor, and I re-enlisted.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Did you happen to get a little something in the mail from me?
Maybe, I think so.
Can we go ahead and see what that is?
I've been waiting to open this thing up. So. Oh, you double wrapped it.
Well, I couldn't let you peek through the package. I didn't have the manila envelopes, so I had to.
How did you know I tried?
That priority shipping, it was real thin.
Am I allowed to look at it right now?
Yes, you can. Show us. Show the world. What'd you get?
I got creamy spinach fettuccine, egg noodles, spinach, and mushrooms, and cream sauce. That's my favorite.
Right.
What'd you say?
I'm sorry.
Oh no, this is a good one.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but I'll tell you, I got that one on my first show, and apparently it's the one that replaced the veggie omelet on the new menu.
Oh,
But what I learned, just maybe it'll help you out, is mix your stuff. Like throw
Like,
whatever
really?
you can into that spinach fettuccine. Otherwise, you're gonna have it's gonna your taste buds will thank you.
Okay. Well, I think you sent me some hot sauce too. So,
What? No, I didn't.
well, thank you for sending me. I'm gonna add this to my my MRE. Can I open it?
Yes, go ahead and get started. And
Oh,
while you're getting
okay.
started, we'll bring Sergeant First Class Groff up on. Hello, Sergeant Groff.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing quite well. I mean, it's 3 o'clock over here on the West Coast, so I'm happy.
Okay. Yeah, you got out nice and early to do it. So you're gonna have like you're gonna end up having fourth meal because after the MRE, you still got dinner time.
Yeah, I'm being a hobbit today. So
yeah, let's do it. Okay. So same thing that I asked Sergeant Foster. What was your very first retention experience?
So my very first retention experience, I remember I was at Fort Cavazos. Back then it was Fort Hood. And I got told you need to go to brigade. And of course I instantly was like, uh-oh, what did I do? So I just thought something was wrong and ended up needing to go see the career counselor. And he's like, hey, you're on orders to Fort Bliss. You need to sign this paper. And so I signed the extension to go to Fort Bliss. Fortunately, it was because I had emailed my branch manager and asked to go there. So it wasn't anything that I wasn't surprised by, but at the time I didn't really know how any of that worked. So I was just like, okay. So that was my first retention experience out there. I don't even remember who the career counselor was. I'd have to go look on iPerms to see what the name is.
Right. Well, I mean, they did their job though. They got a hold of you.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. Yeah, I was happy. It was fine. I didn't get any swag though, so I'm still a little upset about that.
Oh no. You know what? I didn't either. And I wasn't like terribly devastated that I didn't get it, but I do think it's a special little thank you for your service. So I think that's one thing I took from my first experience is that I always make sure to give soldiers something. But
yeah, just
did you happen to get something in the mail? Speaking of making sure people get something, did you happen to get something?
This is my retention experience mail. Yes, I too.
Did you open it already? Because Foster pulled out some hot sauce, and I know I didn't put that in there.
No, I did not. But I see that you did double wrap it.
I did. The packages were way too thin.
Did you add this? I think I might need that, depending on what this is.
I see what's happening tonight, but you know what? I'm not mad at you. That's actually a solid addition.
Ooh, you know my love of Mexican food, and you sent me Mexican-style chicken stew.
Okay,
I'll take it.
Not bad.
You know what these need to come with? They need to come with a toy, like like at McDonald's. You know
what?
I
mean, or like a little fidget spinner. You could
just have something like a little, a Barbie head or something.
I love it. We will. I will send your notes to the manufacturer for consideration.
I'll do an issue paper on it or something.
Yeah, I'll write an issue paper on it. All right. While you get settled, let's bring Sergeant First Class Moise on. Hello. Good evening.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on, Miss FY24 Secretary of the Army Career Counselor of the Year. So
thank you for having me. I'm great. I'm so happy.
Of course. As you heard, we're going over your very first retention experience, and I'm very interested to hear yours because I know a little bit of your story coming in and then exiting the service and coming back in. Do you have anything, within that realm that relates to your first retention experience?
Yeah, so I was getting back from a deployment, and I had we were doing the guys over there that were doing missions with us. They were stationed out of Fort Story, Virginia. So they were like, "Yeah, you're an 88." I was 88 Mike at the time, and they were like, "You can come to Fort Story. We have 88 Mike slots." Da, 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 da. And so I get back, and my platoon sergeant was actually the retention NCO as a additional duty. And she's like, I didn't know, she couldn't find the battalion or brigade career counselor. And so she's like, just go to division. I'm a specialist at this time. I don't know what that means to go to division or anything like that. So I walked myself up to division, and I said, hey, I want to go to Fort Story, Virginia. And I ended up going to Fort Story, Virginia. It was actually Fort Eustis. The unit had deactivated, but it was still a good assignment to go to.
How was it? Did it end up working out though? When you walked, were you like, this is what division is, being a specialist, and you're like, oh, or was it like they were just super accommodating and understood?
They were super accommodating because I wasn't the only one that had trouble finding my battalion brigade career counselor. So it was me and another specialist. We were both trying to go to the same duty assignment. And so they didn't turn us away or anything like that. They were like, oh, we'll help you. And we both ended up getting the assignment that we wanted.
That's awesome. And you know what? It's just, it's the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you always hear like, my career counselor, soldiers will always say, my career counselor wasn't in the office. And sometimes that might be true, not knocking it. Right. But a lot of times we have to be in so many different places at once. 6 different companies, 6 different first sergeants, 6 different commanders, 6 different companies of soldiers, re-enlistment ceremonies, briefings, motor pool, you name it. So sometimes it is so hard for them to find us, and I sympathize with that. But I think that's what's really special about our field, is that there's so many other people that can also do the same exact thing. And we all have each other's back.
Very much.
Now, do you have a little something to show us?
Yeah.
We had like a really, in my personal opinion, poor Foster did not get the best. I think Sergeant Groff got a solid one. So I'm very intrigued on what you got.
Well, winner, chicken dinner, you know what I'm saying?
Don't be pulling out a McDonald's Happy Meal or something on me.
All right, let's see.
What?
You don't like me?
What?
You don't like me. Thought we were better than this. Pork sausage patty, maple flavor.
I had that last time. It's not bad. It's better than what Foster has.
You think this is not my first choice?
And it's funny because like they just don't hit the same. When you're in the field and you're cold and you're tired and you're hungry, like maple sausage patty all day. But when you're like, I get
going to the bottom of the box every time.
You know what I do though? I do it like my very first sergeant in the Army. My first sergeant, he always made us, we'd walk up to the box and you would grab it and you'd walk away. And if you looked at it in front of him, you were in a world of hurt. You just grabbed it and ran. And that's what I do to you guys. I grab it, I put it in an envelope. I don't even look because I don't want to know.
You sent me out.
I'm sorry. I did it.
It's all right. Hopefully this can, it's nice icy can wash it down. You know what I'm saying?
All 3 of you are up to something tonight. What is this? This is what happens when you bring career counselors on this show.
Always got to bring in something a little extra.
That's right. Ingenuity. Okay. So while you're getting settled, this is our 4th episode now, so I don't really go into my first retention experience anymore. I just kind of relate it to, the people on, and I think there's some great experiences given. So I love the experiences, and I enjoyed hearing them, and I will not make the audience hear mine for the 4th time, but I will share what I got. And after hearing your guys's, I'm quite happy with mine. I'm very happy. I got the beef ravioli and meat sauce, Old Faithful. This one right here. If I don't have candy in this, oh no. I didn't think like you guys. I don't have any extra things stashed around. I guess I have I had my water. But okay, so now we got this. We can go ahead and get settled and start eating and hanging out. The career counselor of the year, like I was talking about in the introduction, it's a challenge. And I think that a lot of career counselors know what they're getting into, and it's almost a little intimidating because you know that as you keep winning, that this train keeps going. And I think we all joined this field because we don't know how to fail. We join this field because we have to be the best of the best, and we thrive in chaos, and we love it. And so the competition is the same thing. So what I'd like to know is, let's just bring everybody on the screen, and I want to kind of hear, my first question is, was it what made you decide to do it in the first place? And was it at all like intimidating? Was there something that was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this? So Sergeant Foster, we could start with you. What do you think?
So first off, I want to say shout out to UC South real quick, to all my UC South fam. All right.
You should give them shout outs.
I really wanted to. I always wanted to do this as a soldier. I went to of the year, so like NCO of the year. I like to the board. I think it's a good way to put yourself out there. But I always wanted to go to the board and to be good, at the board for my team and represent my team. And that's everybody who I came in contact with. So that's what made me want to do the first SFC board. Now I was so shocked when I won, and I had to come. I couldn't just choose to go to the Secretary of the Army Career Counselor of the Year competition, but I did want to go and just do my best for my team. So that's really what made me win. What made me want to go? Excuse me.
That's awesome. Sergeant Graf, what about you? Intimidating? Kind of debated on whether you wanted to do it.
So I actually had PCS this summer, and got on station, and they were like, "Hey, we're doing the CCOI in like a month." So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. And I competed before. When I was in INSCOM back in 20, I had competed and made it up to HQDA, so I kind of knew what I was getting into.
Okay.
And I did it when I was a brand new counselor, which was super intimidating when I was a brand new counselor, because I was like competing against all these people that had been doing it for a while, and I didn't really know enough about the field. But when I started competing, I learned so much. And so competing early on, I think, is what kind of made me feel more comfortable doing it again this time, because I knew what to expect, and I knew that this was just such a great opportunity to learn. When you're studying, you're seeing all these different things that you maybe haven't seen before. And so just, I think, makes you a better counselor in the long run. But yeah, it was kind of a surprise. Like, I hadn't even unpacked, and they were like, you're doing this board. So take your stuff to dry cleaners.
So, second time competing.
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to go for a third?
That's up in the air. So I'm supposed to be going to a rotation to Korea in October. So I don't know that it's going to be really feasible since I'll be on a rotation, not like I'm PCSing again, and competing out of Korea. So we'll see how all that works out.
Okay. All right. Sergeant Moise, right? Tell me if I'm wrong.
You're good, man. You're doing
Let
great.
me say it wrong.
No,
Okay.
you're doing great.
You rocked it this year because I actually got to watch. I was present for your TRADOC Career Counselor of the Year, and then I watched you at the Secretary of the Army Career Counselor of the Year, and you just crushed it. You really, really did. So I'm super curious to hear about what got you started. Was it intimidating? Because you didn't show it. You came in and you were just a rock star all the way through. But you're also extremely humble. I think everybody was humble. Seeing all three of you guys at HQDA, very, very humble. But getting to watch you at two different levels was a unique experience for me as well. So I'd like to hear how you were feeling on the inside.
Ooh, on the inside, well, first off, I want to say shout out to MCO, the whole team. I will say, for me, I am nothing without my support system down at MCO. And so I had just gotten back from SLC. I pinned on first class, 1st of September, went to SLC right after, and I'm coming back and I see these emails about, MCO doing the board. And I'm like, oh, I just got back. I got a lot going on, like kids, sports, all that. But my sergeant major, my command career counselor, she was like, I know you don't want to, or you have a lot going on right now, but here are all the things that you would benefit from, not only in the long run, but short term. And one of them is just like, sense of pride that I did. And so after that, it kind of just took off. I had that mentality going into the board, like, let me just do it. Let me try. I'm not going to count myself out of anything. I would rather at least try it first. I did try the MCO board last year, coming off of a PCS. I had just PCS to Fort Moore. So at least this time I had a little bit more experience, a little bit more knowledge, not as much prep time, but I said, you know what, let's just send it. Let's just give it a go.
I love it. That's so awesome. Okay, let's, I want to save this question for last. So let me think of another one. Okay, I'm going to take Sergeant Groff and Sergeant Moise. I'm going to take you guys off the screen so you can actually start chewing and not worry about the world watching you. Sergeant Foster, out of all the different events, which one was the one that you were most excited for, and what was the one that had you the most nervous?
That's a good question. I was excited for the test, only because I was excited. Yeah, I was excited for the test. Like the other tests that I was getting at the other stages, they were good. I just like, being able to get tested on your knowledge. I think is pretty cool to like see what you know. So I was excited for the test. I don't know why, because that test was pretty tough.
I was going to say, how did you feel when you were taking it? Did you change your mind and you're like, you know what, this is not the event?
Yeah, I was sweating and it was cold in the room. So, and then I was most nervous for the mystery event, especially because y'all made us do 2 mystery events and surprised us. Yeah, I was nervous about that because I'm like, man, I don't know what they could do. Like, what at this level, what could it be? So I was nervous about that. I think everybody was a little bit nervous. Yeah, no shout out to him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Shout out to him. But we was all nervous on that bus, though. We was like, dang, we about to go to a different place. We got us going to the secluded building. What? It was just nerve-wracking.
I love it.
Yeah.
So taking it away from the actual competition, what was the best part about the experience overall? Like coming to Washington, D.C., what was the best part on that?
I would say the best part was like meeting everybody, like the experience in all. That's the best part. Like I would do it again, and even if I don't win, I would do it again just because the experience was just so. Like it was just such a good experience. Meeting everybody, talking to everybody, just the different minds, like how we think about things. The discussions that we were having, besides the stuff that was talked about on the board. So like other things that we were talking about just on the bus rides, that was like the best experience. Being able to see the tours, I think that was a good experience. That was like really good. So whoever goes next year, hopefully you guys get to go and see DC like we saw it. So, and the group of counselors that we were with was like awesome. They were an awesome, like just to see everybody there is a winner, So
you couldn't have said it better. Could not have said it better, because everybody that competes at all is a winner. I genuinely believe that, because this board is so specialized. What you're studying things that directly correlate to our job. You are literally making yourself better in this field, and you will service soldiers and their families better for studying for this board. There is a direct benefit. So I agree with you. Everybody was a winner, 100%.
Yeah.
And you killed it. You did so amazing. Just
Thank
want you
you.
to know that.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring Sergeant Groff on. Are you already eating your main course? Did you even heat it up?
Yeah, it's steamy.
What, did you have a super heater?
I mean, you just mix it up and then it's nice and warm.
Interesting. How is it?
I have not yet take this first bite with me. Ready?
Oh, yeah.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I was going to ask, so if anybody got peanut butter, because I got cheese spread. So if you guys want to trade.
I got cheese. I really wanted jalapeno cheese.
I have jalapeno cheese, yeah. But I want.
I got regular.
I'll take your cheese. We'll switch.
I wish we
goes
could,
good with the
right?
crackers.
Throw it.
Yeah.
So what's funny is I was just talking to somebody the other day about how my favorite part of the MRE is, and it's always been, for the last 14 years, like I really want the bread, the dense, hard, but for some reason, amazing bread. I love it with the jalapeno cheese. And I got it today. I was like, yes. And I got the candy. Okay. So I did. I got first time ever. Well, first time starting the show. Wait, there we go. Oh, that was inside your MRE. I'm gonna have to make rules in this show. I'm proud of you guys. You're thinking outside the box.
It's outside the bag.
Outside the bag. Thinking outside the bag. So thinking outside the bag. What was the event that really you were? What was the event that you were most excited for, and what was the one that was very, gave you anxiety, if it did? What was your top one and your bottom one?
I have to agree with Jared. I was thinking, okay, it's a test. You either know it or you don't, and so that's kind of like. There was low stress going into it because you just, you take the test. And that became the one that I actually ended up having the most anxiety over because it was just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. There was so much that, not that you didn't know, but the way that you guys, I don't want to reveal too much because, state secrets or whatever, but the way that you guys had it set up was just so different than what I'd ever seen before. So, and then, the thing that I had the most anxiety over was of course the mystery events because I had no idea what you guys were going to pull. And then the funny thing is those were what I was most comfortable with overall. So
okay.
Yeah, it was like switcheroo.
Uno reverse. Mystery events can be good after all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
cool.
So I actually I liked those. And then of course, you always feel nervous about the board. You know that you're going to feel nervous going into the board. I think if you're not nervous going into it, then you probably are a robot. So, but it's one of those things that's like, it's a known quantity. I know it's a board. I know I'm going to be nervous, but it's really not that bad. It's more of a conversation. It's more about what you know. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. So yeah, overall, I think it was amazing.
Well, that's awesome. I agree. I think that, the board, I think it's just ingrained in us to be nervous about the board. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to sit in front of, senior leaders staring at you with these questions. But when you think about it, I had, I think it was a master sergeant. Before I became a career counselor, I was going to, I think it was like Soldier of the Month or something. And he had told me, he said, just think about it like an interview. Think about it like a job interview. You want that job and you're telling them your expertise and why you want that job. And ever since then, that's like where my mind goes, and it really helps. So it's scary, but like you said, it's also not bad when you get that perspective.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the funny thing is that during the board, on one side were sergeants major that I really have never interacted with before. So I had no problem answering their questions, talking to them. And then the other side was Sergeant Major Godinez, who I used to work for, Sergeant Major Bridges, who I'm there representing FORSCOM for. And so it's like, oh yeah, no pressure on this side. And I'm just like, okay, just answer their questions, you know. So
Don't
total
let them
anxiety.
down.
Yeah, just want them to be proud of me.
Oh. So
Yeah.
switching gears from the actual board and the event. So the same thing we did earlier with Sergeant Foster. Was there something very unique and special to you about the traveling or like coming to Washington, D.C. or some of the different events lined up?
I think it's always awesome to get to go to DC and see the Pentagon and all of the experiences that you guys had lined up. I personally, for me, I got to see some of my old friends, people that I used to work with, and ever since I PCS'd, haven't gotten to see them. So that was really special to me. But then as far as like the competition and what you guys had arranged, I thought that the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier tour was just top notch. That was to go down and see where the Sentinels are and to get the whole rundown from them on what they do was just a really humbling experience and something super cool that most people don't ever get the chance to see. So that was my favorite part. Definitely keep that going. Yeah.
That was honestly my first time ever getting to go into the quarters of the Tomb of the Unknown. So it was my first time with you guys also, and unbelievable experience. Like they just how much they loved their jobs and how much they did not mind being on the grind reminded me of our field. So it was very special. All right, let's don't get too full on your chips over there. I don't know how those ended up making it.
I gotta have room for
out of the
dessert.
bag.
You know, I brought my Girl Scout cookies, so.
Are those the mint ones too?
Yeah,
You know what?
the Thin Mints.
I can't with you. All right, Sergeant First Class Moise. I'm gonna start eating my M&Ms now. Do you have some shenanigans to pull out of your MRE bag? Oh, you're muted. Hold on, I got you.
Mystery meat, but the mystery meat's not really doing it for me.
I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna put this over here. I don't eat pork. Like I'm not a big pork eater.
That's cool.
And then
Did
this
you get anything else?
I mean the muffin. I'm starting to eat the muffin, but I don't want a muffin top, so I might have to put that down too.
Yeah, I get
It's
that.
so moist.
I did get a muffin top too, though, like an actual. I got chocolate banana muffin top, and I was like, "What? This MRE that I have is. I mean, this thing is just. If you want to have a cheat day in life, this is the one because you get the chocolate chip banana muffin top, you get a pack of M&Ms, you get the dense bread with the cheese, and you get your main course. I was like, I forgot how good this one was.
You're winning.
So everybody so far has said that they were looking forward to the written test.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the same for you?
No.
It was not. What were you looking
No.
forward to?
The ACFT.
I knew it. I knew it. You crushed the ACFT both times.
Yes, the ACFT was definitely, I mean, it's my lifestyle. So I like to see how high I'm going to get because I always really, I don't like maxing it is like, okay, I got to put a lot of energy, but I do always try to do my best when it comes to the ACFT. You know, you guys threw a wrench in it with that turf over there or with the grass. So that kind of, but that was my best run time. So it kind of evened itself out.
How different was your sprint drag carry time? Did it like have a huge change on what you're usually accustomed to
It's about 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Whoa.
Yeah. At trade-off, I got a 150. Over there, I got like a 223 or something like that.
That grass, it was rough for sure. It definitely was competition style that morning. You had to put some will and some grit in there. But you still, I mean, you guys did awesome, and you made it look like it was nothing.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the event that you were least looking forward to?
The board.
The board.
the
Just
board.
general nerves, or give us, elaborate a little.
I have this thing about me where I don't like sounding or looking stupid. Like I just don't, I like my appearance. I like when I talk about things I know. So I was just very nervous about them asking a question I didn't know about, or, maybe didn't have too much knowledge about. And I don't ever want to give like a totally wrong left answer. So I'm my biggest critic, and I was just kind of just like, oh, man, what if I don't know? What if they know I don't know? Like, just all these things were going into my head, but I definitely didn't feel like that during or after the board.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you. The board, because you just don't know what's coming. The written test, you have time to digest it, think about it, look at different answers, because, most often, well, not all the time, but some you're expecting and you're hoping to have multiple choice questions. The written or the oral presentation, it's on the fly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and that's another trait that career counselors have, is we just want to be able to present ourselves in the best way possible. And what we say, it really matters to us.
Yeah. And then you're talking to all these SAR majors who are at, these ACOM levels. So you're like, I can't windle my way out of this. Like, they know, so that's kind of like you're talking to maybe a potential like future boss. So you definitely want to put on your best of your best.
Job interview. It could definitely be a future boss. And what I think is really special about the Career Counselor of the Year oral presentation versus like any other. So I've sat on, NCO of the Month boards and Soldier of the Month boards. And, I've sat on different promotion boards, and I'm not saying everybody does it, but what I've seen a lot is, we have this culture built where if you don't know the answer, you give something and you give it super confident. And then they're like, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And then okay. And sometimes they'll correct them, but sometimes they just save it for after the board and they talk to them later. Our board, I really enjoy the fact that if you give an answer, it turns into a conversation, and it turns into what is the second and third order effect of that decision that you just gave me. And then they talk you down through the rabbit hole. And it's truly a learning experience.
Yes.
So I like that. I'm going to try my first bite. I'm trying to
Cheers.
Check that out. Oh man. I didn't heat it up well enough. It's chunky.
No, it looked chunky. I didn't want to say that.
Good, though. It's still really good. This is my all-time favorite.
The ravioli?
Ravioli.
I'm jealous. Very much so.
I am. You can eat the cold.
My dry crackers and peanut butter.
What was the highlight of your experience in DC? What was your favorite or cherished part?
I would say that, like, I almost felt like I knew I would get a competition, but there were moments where I felt like I was truly enjoying the whole experience from the moment, you guys gave us our in brief to us leaving. I enjoyed all of it. Like Sangroff said, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. I really enjoyed the Pentagon because it was great to interact with people who have those discussions of those policies that are changing, going to change, talking to us about, the promotion and, how this impacts this. Like, I'm not really a political person, but I think having that tour of the Pentagon and the White House and, all the information that you guys gave us, it really turned my mind to say like, wow, like I'm sure it can get pretty hectic, but I would love to like have worked up there or something in the future. Like I wouldn't, want to not work up there. I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, agreed. It's a pinch me moment every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have about 15 minutes left. So let's bring everybody on. I want to see if Foster has that hot sauce. He doesn't. Okay, I was like waiting for you to come on. Like, what are you?
I got it. This needs
a coffee cup.
It came in the MRE.
Yeah, it came in the MRE.
You sent this to us, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you set us up too, just like they said. You set us up.
I didn't.
Because who eats this?
Have you tried your main portion yet, Foster?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried it.
How is it? Oh, that looks lovely.
I mean, if you like green stuff.
Let's trade. Give it to me.
I got peanut butter. I don't like peanut butter, so Charity, I'll trade with you.
Yes, there we go.
But I wanted the jalapeno cheese. It always when someone trades in front of you and you're like, no.
No, but I want. Okay, well, I can give you yours, Palmer. I can give you peanut butter. Oh no, I can give Charity. I don't know.
You switch with her, and then I take your jalapeno cheese.
Exactly.
I'll switch something.
Everybody just throw it in the middle. Wait, how do I do this? It's on the. There we go.
Everyone just throw something. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do it.
I was trying to find the middle.
We are not liable for equipment and computer screens.
Oh.
Okay, so I would like to know what do you rate your MRE? 1 through 10. We've had some interesting answers. Now, Foster, when I had yours, I think I gave it a straight 0. What do you rate it?
I wouldn't give. Okay, so it had something that was pretty good, and I demolished it. What is this? Pretzel nuggets.
I got the mustard ones.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that everybody can attest. So I give it a 2 instead of a 1.
A 2.
Literally nothing else. Literally nothing else was good. Nothing else in here.
And you start having a board with the ratings.
Shout out to my people in the field that this is all you got to eat. So
this is true. There are people that this is their meal. And sometimes fruit counselors, when we go join our folks, you know.
Unless you bring a tough box.
You gotta be real committed and find someone that's really willing to cough up some space. Okay. Son Gruff, 1 through 10 on the Mexican burrito meal.
Yeah, Mexican chicken stew. So is this 10 like my favorite? Is this like Michelin star 10 or no?
I mean, it's open to interpretation. But out of all the MREs you've had in your military career,
okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So I would say this is a solid 7. It had some fruit cocktail in it. We had the crackers. I could have done with some peanut butter, not the cheese. But I understand why the jalapeno cheese spread would be in with the Mexican chicken stew. So maybe if I'd have mixed the two. The pretzel rolls, this was solid. I would definitely eat this again. I'd be happy if I had this in the field.
Not bad. Sergeant Moise, 1 through 10. What did you have again? You were so mad at me. Sausage patty. Oh,
sausage patty. I'm giving it a -10. Absolutely not.
Wow.
I mean, okay. I'll give it like a 0.5. I did eat the smoked almond. I did have a little bit of peanut butter and crackers.
Okay. See, you can't be entirely upsetty spaghetti. All right, I am going to rate mine. This one, it's always my fave. You can eat it cold. You can warm it up. But I don't quite remember all the junk food that comes in it. Like, it's hefty on the junk food. Like, I'm going to have to give it, I'm going to knock it down just a peg. I think it's going to be like an 8. I think an 8. An 8 is worthy.
8? That's high.
That's really high.
She said she gonna
I really like it. I like it. So
yeah, I mean, it's out of all the MREs. I'll tell you, because I spent a couple of days at NTC, and yeah, I know, don't judge me. It was just a couple days. But some of the field rations they were giving was like, I was like, I'm eating dog food. That's what this tastes like. So this MRE was way better than that.
See? We're here for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
I have not seen any questions come from the audience yet. I mean, it's a topic where I think people are just very interested in your experiences. But I have a personal question that I really want to ask and that I've been saving until the end. So if you could give any advice to a career counselor debating on going through this competition, what advice would you give them? Like elevator speech, you only had 30 seconds to get them to want to do this. What would be your motivation / advice? Let's switch this up. Sorry, Moise.
Ooh, you got me.
Gotcha.
I would say that you're going to find the most growth by being very uncomfortable. So if you want to grow as a person, as a career counselor, soldier, maybe be a better example as a parent. I'm a parent. And overall, I would say that you're not going to find growth in just staying stagnant and doing the things that, you're just doing the same things every day and every day and every day and thinking you're going to grow from that. I think doing this has pushed me to see my full potential in myself and give me the confidence I need. So I would just say that every career counselor should attempt it, and to ultimately understand that it's not a right or wrong thing. It's just you showing your best qualities and your best personality to the field.
Okay. I love it. I thought that was really good. Sergeant Foster.
I actually was just having this conversation with somebody, a career counselor, a new career counselor too. I'm not gonna throw their name out there. But they was asking for advice, and I was like, they were just curious about like, oh, should I go? And I'm like, go, just go. Like you have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain from going and gaining the experience, putting yourself out there. Let you know where you are, because like I was saying about the tests and everything, like testing your knowledge, just taking the ACFT, doing these mystery events, everything like that was a test of our knowledge, and I think we all did good, So just go to these boards, and always, like she said, make yourself uncomfortable, because that's your opportunity for growth. So
Yeah, it's very true. It is very true. It is a test in every way, but those tests are what make us better. Sergeant Groff.
Just say, just do it. What do you have to lose? It's not like you're going to go to a board and come out worse on the other side. There's somebody that's watching. I know you're watching. Do it. Just do it. I know you hate boards and you don't like boards, but do it. And that's usually what it is. Is somebody doesn't like the board part of it. And this is the one competition. I don't know. I don't think there's any other competition in the Army that is specific to a job that you're not going to get some random question on the board of what's the maximum effective range of an M4. This is specifically, and not to say that that's not part of our job as soldiers, right? You're a soldier first, but as a career counselor, it's like literally all of the questions that they're going to ask you are going to relate to what you do each and every day. And, it's funny because I'll give a shout out to 7th ID, and I forgot to shout out ForceCom and everybody else that supported me along the way. But it was funny because when I competed at the 7th ID board, the mystery event was this 1506 from the devil. And it had to do with a soldier that had gone AWOL and come back and gone AWOL and come back. And I'm usually really good at 1506s. And that one just completely kicked my butt. However, literally like a month and a half later, I get this email and they're like, hey, we have a soldier that was apprehended and he was AWOL for 20 years. Here's all his records. We need you to do this 1506. And I called ops and I was like, is this a joke? Are you guys trying to like prep me for the next level board? And they were like, no, what did you get? And it was a real life case. And because I had seen it during the competition, it then made that real life thing that much easier for me to deal with. And so I just think that's one of the cool things about doing Career Counselor of the Year is you're just exposed to so much more things in your job that you don't normally see. And you're also exposed to all of these great people that you might not have ever met that you can call now and be like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with this, but I know you're in TRADOC or I know you're in USASOC. What can you help me out with?
Yes.
Networking.
I agree.
Network.
Very much.
Network. So in the words of Sergeant First Class Groff, just do it.
Just do
You'll be
it.
better for it, and network.
Yes.
Boom, boom,
Just
boom.
network.
I love it. Networking is huge. Okay, so we have a question. Did you guys want to quit at any point? And if so, why didn't you? And anybody can jump in.
We never quit. So
Yeah.
Never quit.
I never
Quitting's not
thought
an
about
option.
quitting. No, but that's a good question though.
Okay.
I think there were times I felt overwhelmed, just because as you go up, it becomes more and more intense. And then depending on what your job, like what's going on, there were times where I was extremely busy with not just my work life, but my personal life, and then trying to do a bunch of other things. And so it was just like, oh my gosh, it's one more thing. If I would just lose, then I'd have more time.
Yeah.
But I'm also super competitive and I want to win. So
Yeah.
If I just lose,
What about you,
stay
sir? What is it?
home.
I have to agree with both of them. Like in my mind, and then I'll probably say like I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, but I would never think to go to my boss and say I'm going to quit. Like I wouldn't do that, but I think in my mind I would say like I don't really want to do this. What's the point? I don't care. I don't want to do it. But I know deep down inside I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah. And some of your responses are a fantastic segue into the next question. So when you did have those moments of you want to quit, or as you guys said, that you just felt really overwhelmed at some points, how did you balance the needs of your unit and your soldiers with the requirements of, focusing on performing in the board and being your best? How did you find a way to balance all of that for so long?
Man, that's a good question too.
Right.
I know that I have several people that are mentors that I reach out to, and sometimes you just need that extra like perspective from somebody else on how to deal with that situation. Because I remember I won 7th ID, and then I had 1 corps, and my chain of command like didn't quite get like how big of a deal it was to win this thing and to continue moving up and then represent at ForceCom. And so it was frustrating because I'm like, man, I'm doing these cool things and you don't get it. And they're just like, well, but you're behind glide, like you're not making your numbers. And I'm like, but I'm getting there. And there was a bunch of other issues, but we eventually got under control with the unit that had nothing to do with me competing. But you deal with these things and you have to balance these things when you're in that position, because you're only 1 deep. So if you're not there because you're competing, or you're not there for any other reason, who's there to pick up the slack? And so I had to reach out to people that were local, people that, like shout out to, Master Sergeant McDermott and Master Sergeant Curd, that have been my mentors along the way and kind of help keep me level when I was getting super frustrated with everything that was going on.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think being transparent as far as my work, I had to be transparent with my, command sergeant major and, the subordinate sergeant majors in the battalions. Like they wanted all these things, with their units. And I had to be honest and open with them. Like, hey, there's one of me, a lot of you, and there's other things I got to do. I told them like, this is what's going to be best for my career. I'm going to best represent this whole brigade, this whole unit. And so I just need that kind of help me, help you kind of thing. And it was to the point where my brigade sergeant major had said, hey, you know what? She's got this going on. So we're going to actually put this on the back seat until she gets back. And so to have that support from, my brigade sergeant major was amazing. And then I'll tell you guys, I decided to coach soccer for whatever crazy reason. So it was the same thing with the parents. Like, hey, parents, I'm an active duty single parent and I have this going on. And so I had another, it was all teamwork. It was the parents helping me coach when I wasn't there. So it takes a village. Definitely good to be transparent with people and to say, hey, I need some help.
I actually love and respect that answer, that we have to be willing to say, I need some help, because we are a career counselor family and we boost each other up, and we have those career counselor brothers and sisters to say, help me, I'm doing my best, but I'm one person. Very much applaud you for that one. Sarah Foster.
Honestly, we're all so busy. We're so busy. Like, even at the competition, I was doing work and doing homework. Like, I'm in my last couple of classes for my bachelor's. So it was overwhelming with that. Thank you. It was overwhelming with that, but I know I keep saying it, like, shout out to my team at USASOC, but seriously, like, my team, I'm fortunate enough to have other battalion counselors that helped me out. So, like, my team at 7th Group, they were willing to help me out as far as like the workload when soldiers were coming to my door, and they would take some of my workload and help me so I can get ready for my packet, so I can get ready for everything. And then my command is so supportive, like from the battalion to the group level to everyone was just so supportive that they were trying to like push me out, like, hey, you need to go home, you need to do this, you go TDY tomorrow, you need to do this. Let me check your uniform. So like how both of them said, like, having that support team behind you is very important when you're doing competitions, and hopefully that'll like inspire other people that do have a lot going on, that are in school, that are single parents, that have other things that's going on, that are just in the unit by themselves, to even go to the board, because I know that's a determining factor that stops people from going to boards and trying to do things out of the ordinary as well. So thank you to my support team for sure.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. I think one of the biggest deterrences for counselors considering competition is I always hear the same thing. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. We are always too busy. We always are. There is never a good time. There's never a good time to go do, more. We have so much on our plates already, and then we're asking for more. So that's what I always say is there's never a good time. You just have to do it. You just have to go for it and do it, and you'll thank yourself when you get on the other side. But we're always too busy. There's always something going on professionally and personally. Okay, so we've got time for one more question. And that question is, actually, I feel like we kind of nailed that one. Did your team contribute to your success at the Secretary of the Army Career Counselor of the Year? Any additional thoughts on that?
I'll give a quick story. So, yes, actually, at the day of the board, I was the last competitor to go, and so the TRADOC team, the RC side and the active component side, was in my room helping me put my uniform last minute touches together. So a sergeant major who actually sews and knits and everything. That's the first thing she said the first day, like, hey, if anybody has any last minute alterations, I'll help you out. So this sergeant major was there. I was like, Sergeant Major, I think, could you take in my uniform a little bit? She went ahead, she opened it up, she took me in, she moved my patches up and down. Like she caught all the things that, our civilian people who do our uniforms. She went ahead, she was like, no, let's move that up. And so just for, somebody I met at TRADOC board to be there and to help me like redo my whole uniform, like not my whole uniform, but the minor things. I'm totally grateful for that. And even back at home, like my senior, my command career counselor, my senior, she would ask me the operations. They would ask me random questions, like just seeing where I was at often.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember that offer, and I thought that was just amazing. So that's really cool to hear that story kind of close the loop there, that she actually did jump out and help somebody. It shows how close we are as a family. What do you guys got? Anything else from additional help while you were going through the Secretary of the Army CCOY?
I just say we all
Definitely.
need a seamstress. Everybody needs a seamstress on their team. So
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Well, I said it in the beginning and I'll say it again at the close and I'll say it again every time I talk to you for the rest of the time I know you. You guys did absolutely phenomenal and you deserve all the credit and all the kudos and all the congratulations. And I know that all of you feel like you're better for doing it. It's such a special experience and you guys crushed it. And all of you were so humble all the way through. It was such a good time with the Career Counselor of the Year Award this year. So I do personally want to say thank you to you guys, but I want to take a minute and give a shout out to, the folks that made it happen at the HQDA level. Master Sergeant Joel Nunez, he did a phenomenal job getting this
for sure.
done. And those additional events like the tours, and I think it really made it special and an experience more than just a competition. It was an experience. Master Sergeant Mary Lacerda, she did phenomenal. She did so much behind the scenes work that I don't think a lot of people know or appreciate. She was our person that was just grinding in the back, getting, every little tiny detail done. Master Sergeant Peggy Smith, she was phenomenal. She did so much to support the event. And of course, the SAC at the time, Sergeant Major Toby Whitney and our new SAC, Sergeant Major Enrique Rose, both love this competition and love hosting this competition. I think that they all, and I'm so sorry, Master Sergeant Jameson. I almost forgot our bestie, Master Sergeant Jameson. He was also one of those hard hitters that was doing so much behind the scenes work, but then still popping out and helping. So he was like and dodging through both, right? And I think that team, what I noticed was how much all of them genuinely, truly cared about making it an experience for everybody that came. And again, it just shows that overarching circle of we are a family. We want to, take care of those that want to be great. So I got to give a shout out to them. And I have to give a shout out to you guys, because like I said, you guys crushed it. And Sergeant First Class Moise, our FY24 Career Counselor of the Year.
Oh yeah.
Take it with pride. I mean, you deserve it and you earn it. And go and tell your unit how large of an accomplishment this is. It is a huge accomplishment. And Sergeant Foster and Sergeant Groff, tell your units what a huge accomplishment you guys did, because you guys are still winners. You guys competed at an HQDA level. And everybody else, all the other competitors that showed up, I want you guys to know how phenomenal you guys are too. There's not a single person that did not deserve to be there. Every single person showed up and showed out.
Too.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Shout out to all those other competitors that are awesome.
Yeah,
everyone showed up, showed out, and they showed that they deserve to be there. And I look forward to seeing what next year brings. And I hope to see, you guys again. And I'm just excited. So I'd be here all night if I keep doing my thank yous. Do you guys have any final words for the audience, your units, your soldiers, your counselors? Any final words?
To my unit, I did this for y'all. So I know y'all watching. And my past unit. And my senior, Master Sergeant Ocasio, really came through, helped me. So, and shout out to you guys. And thank you for even having me on this. So I appreciate it.
Yes, we loved having you. Anything
else?
Yeah,
I just want to shout out my unit and my mentors and friends and everybody that's kind of like pushed me along the way. I love you, 520th. And remember, all the other counselors out there, just do it.
Do it. You'll thank yourself later. And network.
Network for sure. Yeah. Just thank you for the support, Nikki, from TraDoc up. I'm so glad that we've become close. And I really hope we get to go to airborne school together coming up. Coming up here shortly. Thank you, other competitors. Amazing to pick your brains, to talk, about the field and everything, what you guys got going on in your different, if you're in your different units. Thank you to everybody at Fort Moore. And I want to thank my kids for giving me that internal motivation to keep going and to actually win this whole thing.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight and having I would say, a lovely dinner. You know,
A lovely
You guys
dinner because you got a number 8 one and we got a number -10 and 2 and 6.
I see the dessert down there, the Pepto. All right. But truly enjoyed your guys' company tonight. To everybody that watched, thank you so much for joining us and streaming in. As always, we appreciate your guys' time. We know you have other things that you have going on. So we appreciate your support and we appreciate you coming on to watch. If you watch recorded and you end up having a question, feel free to shoot that question over and we'll get an answer for you. So as always, take care and we look forward to seeing you for episode 5. Thank you so much.